you need to build a custom palette. And I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. I'll give you some tips and tricks for the process, and I'll also explain why I feel so strongly that every artist should build their own palette. This palette is going to showcase all 48 colors of the Holbein Irodori Gouache series. These colors are separated by the season and are inspired by the traditional colors of Japan. Now, one of the main reasons you should be making your own palette is it makes the colors and your materials all the more accessible. This is going to be my Daniel Smith palette, which is half watercolor, half gouache, and led me to create this piece. If I didn't make this palette, I never would have created this piece of art. So let's talk about what you need to do to make your own. Step 1 is to select your palette. Preferably something with some mixing wells and something that will allow you to swap out your pans. You can really use any container you have on hand. I made this one out of a tea tin with magnets years ago, but since this one's all about showcasing the Irodori colors, I'll need more space. Step 2, make your swatch card. Any heavy watercolor paper will work. Try for a true white or whatever paper you typically use. I prefer to make grid lines on my swatch card as it'll correlate to where the pans are in my palette. Step 3, prep your pans. These are going to be half pans, these are full pans, and both will hold plenty of paint. I'm going to go with half pans because I don't know which of these colors are my favorite yet. I like to mark the back of my pans with the brand and color code of my paint, just in case I ever need to refill them. Regardless of what brand you use, it should have a color code. Now typically I just do the brand initials and the color code on the back, and I'll do this for all 48 pans. Because the Holbein Irodori Gouache is a limited series that ties into the season, I'm also going to be adding that initial to the back of my pans. Step 4, fill your pans. I try to get as much pigment to the bottom and the corners as I can. You're going to want to take the pan and slam it against a table. This flattens out the edges and makes sure there's no air bubbles. Gouache especially has a tendency to crack, so we need it to adhere to the walls of the pan. If we don't do this, we run the risk of the pigment falling out of the pan after it dries. After about 48 hours, our pans will be dry, and I always like to go back in and top them off, because this palette will probably last me several years. Step 5, swatch your card. I like to do this at the pan fill stage, so I don't have to overexpose the paint to air unnecessarily. That's how you can get clumps in your tube, and this doesn't have to be perfect, you just need something to represent the colors. And that's how you go about creating a custom palette. Armed with this information, it's now your job to go and create your own. I hope you enjoyed the video, and throw me a like if you enjoyed it. With that, I'll leave you with a tour of all 48 colors of the Holbein Irodori Gouache. Till next time.
some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me